hundreds or even thousands of external parties into the mix, what happens then? According to a Deloitte study, 83% of organizations have experienced a third-party related cyber incident in the last 3 years. Over the same period of time, the number of breaches triggered by external parties have also increased steadily.
Then add in a global crisis. Today, your organization needs continuity plans to accommodate for any downtime or disruption to your ecosystem that could adversely impact your business operations. The challenge of third-party risk management isn't going away, and in fact, an array of experts and industry insights will show this risk is growing. So follow along as we explore this unique risk management challenge today on The Download.
To thrive in the new digital economy, organizations will need to adopt new technologies and processes. To do that successfully, they'll need to bring on third parties for help. According to one risk management expert from Ahold Delhaize, to deliver on digital transformation, we need the right partner at the right time. According to a Forrester survey sponsored by RSA, the most common types of third parties that an organization will bring on are IT service providers and technology consultants. But there's one little secret when it comes to bringing on third parties and working with third parties. They can create and introduce risk to your business.
It should come as no surprise then that according to the RSA Global Digital Risk Report, third-party risk represents one of the top 3 digital risk management concerns for organizations globally this year. Because 53% of organizations say that they're using the same or more third parties than they were 2 years ago, many expect their risk profiles to expand. That challenge becomes more pronounced the larger an organization is. Mike Newborn, CISO of Navy Federal Credit Union, shares that one of the greatest challenges with third-party risk is just knowing who you're using. For some organizations, these ecosystems could include tens of thousands of external partners.
A lack of visibility across an extensive vendor ecosystem can expose the business to vulnerability. Aside from the cybersecurity considerations, temporary closures, downtime, or even bankruptcy triggered by a global disruption can have downstream impact for a business's operations. As Steve Schlarman will explain, at a time like this, getting visibility into the third-party ecosystem has never been more critical.
We've already seen organizations really ramping up capabilities around assessing risk with third parties. But I think if you didn't know the who, what, where, why, how of your vendor ecosystem and your supply chain before this, you certainly need to know that after this. It would help prioritize which vendors mean the most for your business. It can help prioritize those issues. So I think that's going to be an area.
Now, when it comes to cataloging your third-party ecosystem, are you one of the 82% of organizations that still use spreadsheets? According to a Forrester survey sponsored by RSA, spreadsheets are universally recognized as insufficient for risk management, in part because risk is moving in real time. The challenge of keeping tabs on your ecosystem multiplies when you factor in the 4th, 5th, or nth parties that can come into contact with your organization's infrastructure or data. Now, the challenges with these nth parties is getting visibility into the work they're doing, what data they have access to, and what controls they have in place to manage the risk.
Okay, so we've learned that third-party risk is a growing business challenge. Amid a global disruption, that risk becomes even more complicated to manage. Now, let's figure out a way to navigate that challenge. As you'll hear from Patrick Potter, take proactive steps today to assess your third-party ecosystem, build in resiliency, and prepare for possible disruption scenarios.
But disruptions that impact them might be impacting you and vice versa. We're seeing that today in spades. So this symbiotic relationship carries some risk. It definitely does. And it's important to build resiliency within the 4 walls of your organization, but also across that extended ecosystem, I'll call it. So, here we are in the midst of this business disruption today. And I'd say some things that are important to work on or to focus on is work with and through your third-party risk team, your internal team, to understand the status of your critical third parties. Are they recovering? Are they recoverable? Are they resilient? Where do they stand? Are they able to continue to support your organization And if not, where are those gaps? And take the action you need to address those gaps as soon as possible. And I mentioned critical third parties because a typical organization has hundreds of third parties. Focus on those that are most critical, you're mission critical to your organization. Another thing you can do is, as much as possible in this environment, coordinate your response and recovery with that of your third parties. Because oftentimes it's one contiguous process between you and your third party. And then finally, look ahead and look to see where you may need to start transitioning work from a third party that's in a hotspot today to another third party that's in a less impacted area. So really look ahead and see where those exposures could be in a week or two or a month down the road.
Today, we looked at the scope of third-party risk management and the various challenges that organizations have while managing it effectively.
We heard from the experts, but now we want to hear from you. What are your thoughts or questions about third-party risk management? Leave us a comment. And mark your calendars, the download returns again next week. We talk to experts about the future role of the risk manager, a position that will be more in demand as organizations grapple with digital risk as part of their new normal.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time on The Download.